Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University, where tonight in the Division VI state semifinals, the Marion Local Flyers tangle with the Colonel Crawford Eagles. Hello, everyone. I'm Danny Holbrook, alongside Nate Garlock and Miles Holliday. Tonight's pregame keys are brought to you by Loigers Insurance. Loigers Insurance, reliable, knowledgeable, professional. That's Loigers Insurance. Guys, what a game we've got tonight. It doesn't get any better than this. One team's going home, one team's going to the state championship.
Yeah, I mean, when you make it this far, everything is just the pressure, the intensity, everything is ramped up. But there's a lot more that goes into this game when you start getting down to just the final four teams, right? You start talking about the history of teams. When you look at Colonel Crawford, this is a team that has had so much success under Coach Sheldon. They've had 31 titles in 19 years. The one that has eluded them is a regional championship. They finally have that one. They're in the Final Four for the first time in program history, not wanting that one to go away. And then on the other side, Marion Local, we know the history, right? Winning. That's all that they do. 5 times in history, a team or a school has won a football state title and a state championship in basketball. Marion Local trying to do it for the 6th time. The last time that it happened, 2017 and 18. The last team that did it, the Marion Local Flyers.
Miles, you're Colonel Crawford, as Nate said, you win a regional title, you're excited. Oh, guess what? Here's your prize. You get to play the Marion Local Flyers, a perennial state power.
Well, gentlemen, where else would you rather be than right here, right now, right? High-stakes basketball at its finest, and any team that is still alive, precious seconds are in front of them, right? Precious moments. Who's going to be the team that steps forward? These are the best in the state of Ohio for a reason. So you look at Marion Local, boy, are they tough, aren't they? And if you look at Colonel Crawford, boy, are they tough, right? Who's going to be tougher here tonight?
Yeah, let's take a look at the bracket tonight for Marion Local, how they got here. You look at that big win to start off with New Bremen, had to come back and take on Cold. Now, Coldwater is a MAC foe, guys. That's not an easy contest, and they just chug along, and they really, really gave it to Miami Valley Christian, and then they beat Anna, another foe that they've seen this year.
Well, Anna team was playing about as good basketball as you could play right now. Marion Local, they are just so good defensively. I don't know how you outscore them because you can't score against Marion Local.
And let's take a look at Colonel Crawford's bracket as they got here. Nate, you know that foe they got to beat here in the regional finals, Lima Central Catholic. What a game that was.
Yeah, an LCC team that was down a player as Jeff Williams wasn't available in that game. Colonel Crawford came out. They drew up a tremendous defensive plan. They worked it almost to perfection. LCC tried to come back late. Colonel Crawford, though, they held their ground. They have such good players on that team defensively as well. I think we're in for one heck of a defensive battle with these two teams tonight.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, they were supposed to lose the Maumee Valley Country Day. A lot of people thought that. So this is a Colonel Crawford team that surprises everybody week in, week out.
Let's take a look at the keys for tonight's game. Let's start with the Marion Local Flyers.
Number one, grit. It's just a different way of saying toughness, isn't it? This is a gritty bunch. This is a tough dude. It is demanded in the community at Marion Local. This team exudes it. Number two, slide, slippity slide. I don't know if you're going to see a team better at sliding defensively against dribble drive. They are so good at it, so they're going to have to be really good at it again here tonight. Stop dribble drive penetration in the lane. Then Austin Power. Yeah, baby. Talking about Austin Niekamp. 6'8", and you can't teach that. He's 18 points a game. Dude is legit. Keep an eye on Austin Niekamp.
Let's take a look at Colonel Crawford, gentlemen. Hey, 24 wins in a row. That's a lot of basketball for any club.
It is. And to me, Danny, if they're going to win this basketball game, they're going to have to get some breakaway points. You're going to have to get some fast break opportunities, because if you don't, it means you're working against that great defense in a half-court set. So run away, run away, run early. Maybe you can wear out this Marion Local team. Number two, sharing is caring. This is a basketball team that loves to make that extra pass. 4 guys on this team average 2 assists or more. So keep sharing that basketball. Sharing is caring. And then the big three. Who are the big three? John DeGray, Braden Holt, and the other DeGray, Payne DeGray. These guys are all double-digit scorers. They're going to have to be big here tonight and get double digits like they always do.
Nate, let me ask you this before we go to break. Both of these teams have already played here at the Stroh Center. I really think they're both going to be kind of relaxed for this game.
Yeah, usually when you move on, you get to a new venue, and they talk about your eyes and adjusting, and just a lot of the things with being in a bigger arena. That all goes away. They don't have to worry about that. The coaches don't have to spend time talking about that. The players don't have to prepare for it. They get to just go out here, prepare for their opponents, and play their game.
It's Marion local. It's Colonel Crawford with a trip to the state finals on the line. We'll have starting lineups and tip right after these messages. Welcome back to the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, and Miles Holliday for the state semifinals with a trip to the state championship on the line. Gentlemen, we've talked all week about this game. Both these clubs, Marion local comes in at 25-2. Colonel Crawford comes in at 25-1. And really, they're a carbon copy of each other. They've got bigs that can play. They've got great guards. And the other thing, too, fellas, they can really get after it defensively. Marion local only gives up 40 a game, and Colonel Crawford 38.5 a game. This is going to be a dandy.
A lot of things are going to be determined how this game is called, in my estimation, Danny. You know, this Marion local team is a very physical group. That's how they play basketball in the MAC, right? Are the officials going to allow physicality to go on, or are they going to call it real tight? That's going to have a big impact on this game.
Yeah, and when you look at Colonel Crawford, too, you know, they don't believe it, but I think a lot of people think that Colonel Crawford is on house money right now. They played some teams that I don't think a lot of people thought that they were going to get by. You already mentioned one in Maumee Valley Country Day. Then I think a lot of people thought LCC would get them after that. Colonel Crawford just keeps knocking down challenges. And then they're in this matchup here tonight, if you talk to a lot of people, they are the underdog. Marion local comes in here as the favorite. It's going to be a tough road for Colonel Crawford, but they don't believe that. They think they can match up with anything or with anyone. Payne DeGray is going to do a nice job for them down low. It'll be interesting to see how the defensive strategy goes when it comes with him and Austin Niekamp and how they're going to work the big guys down low. John DeGray having a great season for him as well. But Braden Holt, his first year with Colonel Crawford, he came over, really started to get acclimated in the summer. He has won every award in his district and his region. He is the all-state player. He does everything that you can do, such good guard play, and that is going to come in huge here tonight for them.
And it's not very often your best player leads the team in assists, right?
That's
Usually
a great point.
your best player is the guy that scores all the points. He has 6 assists a game. That dude, he can dish it out.
Everybody involved. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the visitors, the Marion local Flyers. They'll come in at 25-2. They will start number 5, Grant Kramer, at 11.5 a game. Number 11, Ryan Homan, comes in at 6 points a game. The big man, Austin Niekamp, number 23, averages 18 points a game. Number 24, Cale Arns, the 6'3 sophomore, at 5.6 a game. And rounding out the starting 5, number 32, Braden Mesher, at 8.4 a game. And guys, I don't know if you know this, Braden Mesher may be one of the best defensive guards in all the state of Ohio. I had him in the district final game. He had 7 steals in the first half.
That's unbelievable. Don't let him go to the bank, though, right? You don't want those steals at a bank. Just on the court, my friend.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Colonel Crawford Eagles. They come in at 25-1. They've won 24 games in a row. They'll start number 3, Logan Goddard, a 5'10 senior, at 6.7 a game. Number 11, John DeGray, is a 6'3 sophomore, at 9.8 a game. Number 20, Braden Holt, is a 6'1 junior, at 18 points a game. Number 23, a 6'2 senior, Caden Bruner, at 2.5 a game. And a 6'5 junior, number 33, Payne DeGray, at 15.2 a game. And folks, Braden Holt at 18 a game, he can fill it up from long range and he can get to the rim with the best of them.
Yeah, we were just talking about how good of a guard play he is, and he really does set the table, like Miles says, for the rest of the team. They have a great outside shooter in Logan Goddard as well. He gets a lot of good looks based off of what Braden Holt is able to do. And then you got the DeGray brothers. You know, John is a much more fluid player. Payne DeGray, he's going to do all the dirty work for him on the inside. This is a really fun team to watch.
And Nate, you brought up a good point earlier. Is it going to be Niekamp against Payne DeGray? How would you play it if you're Dave Sheldon?
You know, it's going to be difficult because Austin Niekamp is going to play away from the basket.
He does.
He's going to play beyond the perimeter. He can shoot the 3 ball, and if you put Payne on him, now Payne is going to spend a lot of time away from the basket, and I'm not sure if that's what you would want if you're Colonel Crawford, as Payne is going to get you a lot of very good rebounds.
Yeah, 9 a game.
Yeah, gentlemen, the Stroh Center is filling up for tonight's Division 6 state semifinal game. When we come back, we'll have tip right after these messages. And we're back here at the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holliday, the Division 6 state semifinals. Tonight's premier sponsor is OPAC in Osgood. For all your industrial painting, staining, and assembly needs, call OPAC. And our scoreboard sponsor tonight is Ultimate Outdoor, bringing resort-style living to your backyard every day with a luxury outdoor space by Ultimate Outdoor. Gentlemen, I take a look at Marion Local, and the guy that stands out to me, and he stood out over there for 4 years, is Austin Niekamp. The 6'8" forward is such a matchup problem. How does Colonel Crawford combat his ability to get the ball down low? And not only that, guys, he plays the perimeter as well as any guard on that team.
Yeah, he's a matchup nightmare, isn't he? I don't think it's going to be one guy, Danny. I think they're going to have a little help side defense if it's man-to-man. Maybe a little bit of zone on him. You're going to have to be very, very concise in what you do defensively.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, that's the question that everybody has been asking all season long. And, fellas, not one team has come up with an answer. So, good luck, Colonel Crawford. If we knew the answer up here, we'd be down there on the bench.
Sure.
Austin Niekamp is just one of those players that sometimes you're just like, hey, listen, he's going to do what he's got to do. We're going to have to make somebody else help to beat us because we know Austin Niekamp is going to get whatever he does in a game.
Yeah, you know he's going to get at least double digits.
Yeah.
Don't let him get the 20s and 25s.
And for the Eagles, you take a look at Payne DeGray at 15 and a half a game, the 6'5" junior who had an emphatic dunk in the regional final game. He's a big-time matchup problem for Marion Local.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We talked about this here in the pregame, right? And it's going to be interesting to see here out of the gate how Colonel Crawford, is going to try to play defense with Payne DeGray against Austin Niekamp. Traditionally, those would be the two guys matching up, the two bigs going at it. But I don't know that you want Payne DeGray away from the basket that much. So we'll get to see here in just a minute as the tip is about to get underway.
We are ready for the tip. John DeGray and Austin Niekamp in the center circle right on top of the Falcon. And gentlemen, we are underway in the Division 6 state semifinal game. The Colonel Crawford Eagles and the Marion Local Flyers. Marion Local comes out in a straight man-to-man defense. They'll go right to left, back down low, get it into Payne DeGray. Brayton Mesher with a nice steal. It goes out of bounds and go back to the Eagles.
Yeah, what anticipation on that attack by Mesher. Dan, you highlighted 7 steals earlier in this tournament. That guy is cat-like quick.
Yeah, he knows where the ball is, and he gets out there and he gets after it. This is John DeGray, and he is guarded by Cale Arns. Cale Arns, the 6'3" sophomore. Gentlemen, he is going to be the future of this program. He is a scorer, and at 6'3", he's got length. There's DeGray, a little half hook, misses that shot. Austin Niekamp brings it down, and Brayton Mesher will bring it down for the Local Flyers.
Yeah, it took a long time for Colonel Crawford to get a good shot, but you got to love it if you're Marion.
So here we get our first look of how Colonel Crawford's going to want to choose to guard Austin Niekamp, and it is Payne DeGray on him. We're going to have a jump ball on the far side.
There you see Payne DeGray jump out there, and Braden Holt grabs the ball and ties it up, gentlemen. They're going to play that aggressive defense. That's going to be tough all night on Brayden Mesher. They'll swing it over to Mesher. Mesher gets it back to Niekamp. Niekamp from three-land. Takes the shot, misses it from the right side. Rebound comes down, brought in by Kramer. Kramer gets it over to Mesher. Mesher dribble drives, foul line. They'll swing it over to Ryan Homan. Ryan Homan takes it inside, puts it up. He's fouled, he scores. Ryan Homan with a big-time dribble drive. We got the replay right here. The Burke Petroleum instant replay. Ryan Homan with a tough inside move.
Improper closeout by Colonel Crawford allows them to get to the low block. And how about the little baby up fake to make it undefeated still?
Well, and that's where we see right there the problem with not having Payne DeGray in the paint, as Marion Local able to run guys at the rim, and the help and the protection's not there. Marion Local out to the early 3-0 lead.
Tonight's free throws are brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe. In Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's, locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, we're famous for catering too.
I love the man-to-man principles. Look at all the eyeballs. Still seeing ball and still seeing the man. Fantastic defense early from Marion Local.
Braden Holt with a missed shot, but fellas, you saw the handles on Holt. He can really handle the ball out front. There's another three from the top of the key. Holman goes again, and he knocks it in. Holman with another Holman Insurance 3-ball. Unbelievable.
A lot of confidence in that shot. No hesitation coming down the floor and putting Marion Local on top. 6-0 here early in the first quarter.
You mean Ryan Homan on top? He's got all 6 for the Flyers. There's another steal. Here come the Flyers, and it's Ryan Homan. He brings it down the right side, kicks it back out to Grant Kramer. Mesher's going to dribble drive. He's going to take it in. Little turnaround, finds Arms inside, and we got a 3-second call against, it looks like maybe Mesher?
No, that was, I believe, I think you're right.
It is Mesher.
Yeah.
And it's the right call. Now, as the season goes on, we don't see that called very often, right?
Right.
The official on that side, though, he was very cognizant of 1, 2, 3.
That's one of the ones where you feel like that came from the bench, right? That was the coaching staff of Colonel Crawford getting in an official ear saying, watch that 30 seconds.
Gentlemen, Ryan Homan, there's a nice little dribble drive. And Colonel Crawford is on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard, 6-2 with 5:29 to play.
Nate, you highlighted how athletic John DeGray is in our pregame. Case in point right there.
Mesher takes it in. Boy, a lot of contact. Here's Austin Niekamp. He misses the shot. Rebound comes down, and it's brought in by John DeGray. Mesher with the steal. We've seen that a lot. Mesher's going to take it right at him, and he scores. Braden Mesher knocks it in to make it 6-2 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
And it was a great job by Mesher to get that one in, but John DeGray had to just kind of let the ball go because he knew he was on the verge of traveling. You saw the fans want the traveling call, and that's what led to that easy layup.
8-2 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard. I had said 6-2. There's a nice little dribble drive, and you saw the shot go up by Braden Holt. It's missed. And Ryan Homan. And Ryan Homan right now is doing everything for the Flyers.
Arns was great on the defensive end. It caused that. This Marion local team, not only are they quick, they have tremendous length.
Here's Mesher. He's going to take a three from the left side. That's off the mark. Rebound comes down, and it's brought in by Braden Holt. He'll bring it down for the Eagles as he goes right down the middle of the floor. Three ball from the top of the key. He misses that one, and a big-time rebound by Cale Arns. Here come the Flyers down the right side. Mesher's going to take it all the way down. He's got two on him, loses the ball, and he gets out of bounds. Unbelievable job by Braden Holt to bounce it off of Braden Mesher's shoulder.
As you're going to see here on the Burke Petroleum instant replay, Holt trying to get that one back, and such a heads-up play to get that one out of bounds off of Marion Local to get that possession back. Braden Holt right now, though, especially offensively, just got to slow down a little bit. He's trying to do everything here for Colonel Crawford. That last possession, you saw him run down a little bit of an out-of-control three-point shot. Crawford just has to take a breath here, run their offense, and try to get an easy shot.
Yeah, that shot last time down, it was almost like I haven't shot yet. I need to shoot one, right?
Daniel Everman is in the game for the Flyers. Here come the Eagles from left to right. This is Parker Weithman for the Eagles as he kicks it back out. He'll go top side to Logan Goddard. Logan Goddard finds DeGray. DeGray looks down low. They'll hand the ball off.
Now, just not enough movement offensively away from the ball. You're working 1 against 5 when nobody moves away from the ball. And this Marion local group, they are so good at keeping themselves between you and the basket. You can't ever get them turned and get a free look. And everybody's standing out on the perimeter. Nate, they're going to have to get some movement to move those eyeballs off of the defenders.
Yeah, it looked like they really wanted to try to go inside to Payne DeGray, but it was good defense by Marion Local. So Payne's got to come and get it beyond the perimeter and go right at Niekamp. And they're going to give the foul to Niekamp, an and-one opportunity here for Crawford.
Payne DeGray catches the ball out on the perimeter, and he takes it right at Austin Niekamp. And, fellas, that call could have went both ways.
A little bit of a 50-50 one there. Colonel Crawford getting a break. Austin Niekamp picking up his first foul. And it's going to lead to Payne DeGray going to the free throw line.
Payne DeGray will go to the free throw line. It's 8-4 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard. Our free throw sponsor is Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
If they cash in right here, no, they missed the free throw, but if they would have cashed in, as bad as they played in this opening sequence, they only would have been down 3 points.
Mesher's going to bring the ball down, gets it over to Homan. Homan looking for Grant Kramer, and he'll go Austin Niekamp topside. Niekamp goes across to Everman. Everman been hurt a lot this year. He's going to find Grant Kramer who dribble drives. Ball's batted back, and Kramer catches it himself, takes it back up, gets another attempt. Here's Homan from the right side, and it's good. Ryan Homan's got 8 tonight, and it's 11-4 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Big-time players and big-time moments. How about Ryan Homan? You're big-time, sir. 9 points already.
Yeah, and it's got to be frustrating for Colonel Crawford. You played great defense on the inside. You get the block shot. They go to pass it back out to reset, and then a three gets buried.
Nice job of DeGray backing Niekamp in, and he scores. There you saw Payne DeGray just body up Austin Niekamp. And, fellas, how weird is it that Ryan Homan has 3 3-point plays tonight, and our 3-point sponsor is Homan Insurance?
Yeah, that play, I think, was back down there for DeGray. Great job on the inside by Mesher, though, to get that one up. I'd imagine we're going to see Colonel Crawford, though, continue to try to go to the inside, Miles, because you saw Payne DeGray go right at Austin Niekamp, and Austin looked like he was playing off a little bit, not wanting to pick up that second foul.
Yeah, great call by you. David Shelton seems to like he likes that matchup.
There's the third steal by Braden Mesher, gentlemen, and he turned the ball over. But there you saw Braden Mesher. And I want to go back to the other end of the court, fellas, when Braden Mesher got down low, and you saw the strength of the Marion local guards, how they're not afraid to go down on the post.
And you see there on the Burke Petroleum Instant Replay, they called it was a carry, as the coaching staff not happy, fans not happy, but you could clearly see Mesher, after he got that, definitely got up underneath it. A pretty easy call there for the official.
Yeah, I think both coaches are kind of keyed up.
There's another Braden Mesher steal. Austin Niekamp comes up with it. Mesher loses the ball. He's going to bring it right down the floor. He'll kick it over to Grant Kramer. 3-ball from the right side, and it's off the mark. Rebound comes down. Cale Arns chases it down. 1:43 to go. Here's Kramer again, and it's off the mark. Austin Niekamp gets it, puts it right back up, and they're going to get Payne DeGray on the foul.
That's already the third offensive rebound for this Marion local group. And Nate, you're talking about how Colonel Crawford had to figure things out on the offensive end. But it's not going to matter if they don't get things done on this end.
And I agree, and you continue to see Marion local have second and third opportunities here, and a lot of that is happening with Payne DeGray well away from the basket. The concern I had with him being on Austin Niekamp is you see him make his first free throw. Payne DeGray not there to get those rebounds, giving Marion local extra opportunities, and right now it's paying off for the Flyers.
So Austin Niekamp hits the first one with 1:37 to go. Second one on the way. Makes it 15-6 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
If I'm Dave Sheldon, I'm calling a set where we can get the ball early to Payne DeGray, because if Niekamp is on him, I want him going right to the basket. Nope.
Niekamp just checked out of the game,
Smart,
so even
smart
more
move.
And even more reason to try to go inside now.
I was thinking getting that second foul on Niekamp, but a good move getting him off the floor to protect him for a second.
And fellas, don't look now, but if Payne DeGray has Brennan Hess going down low, Brennan Hess, the freshman, is in there. There's DeGray, takes it, and a big-time block by Brennan Hess. And look at the freshman go. Are you kidding me?
I think they're going to get the second one, but the first one was as clean as a whistle. Watch this. Hello. Get that out of here.
And I was worried about Brennan Hess having some trouble with Payne DeGray, but the young freshman says not so quick.
That's what I was going to say. The freshman coming in, passing that test, no concerns there. And then just got a little bit too much of the arm there on that second opportunity.
Yeah, if he just would have stayed straight on the contact, he would have been just fine. But his follow-through got the shoulder.
Nate, you got to see Payne DeGray play last week. This is my first time seeing him play. He's impressive. He's really impressive.
Both of the Gray brothers played great against Maumee Valley Country Day. That was a great game to be able to watch, as we got a tie up there.
Oh, yeah. Austin Niekamp, yeah. And John DeGray kind of tied up there. Here's Mesher with the ball, swings it over to Kramer. Kramer back to Mesher. 1 minute to go here. They'll go Niekamp down low, and he scores. Austin Niekamp, a little turnaround floater. He makes it 17-7 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Danny, he shot that before he even looked at the basket, and that's how confident he is in that little spin move with the baby hook.
And it was a great entry pass, put it exactly where they wanted it, knew what Austin would have liked, and almost another turnover and steal there by Mesher.
Gentlemen, this gym is really getting full here. We got a sea of black and yellow in front of us and a sea of blue and gold in front of us, and not a lot of empty seats here. Both communities really turned out for this big-time game.
Yeah, you can see not an empty seat here along the sidelines on either side. We mentioned the first trip here for Colonel Crawford, and we know the Marion local community always is going to come out.
Braden Holt with a nice dribble drive gets it over to John DeGray, and DeGray lost it. Let's take a look at the replay. Oh, it went off John DeGray. They missed that one.
Yeah, it looked like for that back official with Holman there kind of in between, it looked like maybe it hit off of his leg, but a missed call there. Tough call for Marion local, but we'll see if Colonel Crawford's able to do anything with it. Final 20 seconds of the quarter.
You got to love that Marion local student section, though. They're trying to help out with that call.
Braden Holt's got the ball up top for the Eagles. We're down to 12 seconds. Holt with the ball, guarded by Cale Arns. Holt's going to try to go middle. Got Payne DeGray up top. They get it over. They try to go baseline. John DeGray gets it out. It's stolen by Kramer, and that's how the first quarter ends. After 1 quarter of play from the Stroh Center at Bowling Green State University, the Marion local Flyers 17, Colonel Crawford 7. We'll be back with second quarter action right after these messages. Tonight's instant replay is brought to you by Burke Petroleum, now offering propane for residential, farm, commercial, and industrial users. Burke Petroleum, dependable, available, 800-776-3097. And our three-point sponsor tonight is Holman's Insurance, your trusted local insurance specialist. Member of the Wayne Insurance Group with 2 locations to serve you in Chickasaw and Versailles. Gentlemen, it is Ryan Holman 9, Colonel Crawford 7. The young man has done a fantastic job of leading the Flyers out of the gate.
He has been big time in that first quarter. Only 6 points per game average, but he has stepped forward at about the right time for this Marion local crew.
Well, I'll tell you what, observations like that, too, are you the best in the business, Danny. How you were able to come up with that and be able to lead us in like that, I mean, absolutely fantastic. This is why I model what I do after you, buddy.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you. I'll let you know when to talk again.
Is he pointing at us again?
Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holiday, a 3-man booth here. Now you got Payne DeGray trying to go back up against Austin Niekamp. There's dribble drive by Holt, and the shot goes up, and a nice job there.
Great ball movement, great court vision by Holt. We talked about how good he is with the assist. John DeGray able to get the finish.
Defense loses track of a guy, but the back door was open. Great job of finding him by Holt.
Skip pass to Kramer. Kramer's going to dribble drive, gets nice position, takes it up, and there's going to be a foul, and it looks like that foul's going to go against John DeGray. You saw Grant Kramer when he got the inside position right here, and then he takes it up.
Yeah, it was a great job by Kramer, and a lot of this is being stemmed from how they're trying to guard Niekamp on the inside. When they had the ball on this near sideline, John DeGray was kind of sliding down, leaving Mesher with a lot of space for that three-point try. They end up reversing the ball coming back, but John DeGray then having to go quickly, didn't have his feet ready to go, and a little bit out of position as Kramer ran that baseline.
And Kramer knocks both free throws down to make it 19-9 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard. Here comes Holt with the ball guarded by Cale Arns. They'll swing it over to DeGray. DeGray dribble drives, a little spin at the foul line, kicks it back out, trying to get the ball down to Payne DeGray, but they're doing a great job of limiting his touches. And a beautiful move by DeGray. And there you see the athleticism there of Payne DeGray.
I like the move because it's a win-win. He's either going to beat Niekamp to the basket or he's going to get that foul. If I am Colonel Crawford, I'm going back to that well many times.
Here's Holman with the ball out top. He's got 9 to lead the Flyers tonight. He'll get it over to Mesher. Boy, they're playing off Mesher really low, and they're just staying on the foul line as Mesher cuts down, and that's what I was afraid of if you're going to play off of him that far. The ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to say it goes back to Marion Local.
Yeah, this is a great job by the official on the baseline. You're going to see it get bounced off, but it's going to actually hit Holt as it goes out of bounds again. Smart play by Holt, but just couldn't pull it off.
They're going. Austin Niekamp catches it at the foul line, gets it out to Kramer. Boy, they were on top of Kramer as soon as he got the ball. And he's going to dribble drive, puts the ball up, misses the shot, and a rebound comes down, and that was brought in by Logan Goddard.
I like the idea that you had in that first quarter, Miles, trying to go inside and get Niekamp for that second foul, but it doesn't matter when you've got a guard like Holt who can pull up and shoot like that.
Braden Holt averages 18 a game, gentlemen. We talk so much about the DeGray brothers. We forget about Braden Holt. He is fantastic, and there you saw his athleticism there. Quick trigger, knocks it in, makes it 19-13 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Absolutely huge possession in this basketball game for Colonel Crawford defensively. Get a stop here, get yourself back in this game.
Holman on the left side, and boy, they're slacking off of him. Here's Niekamp from the top of the key. Shot goes up, and it's good. Austin Niekamp all night long knocks in another Holman Insurance triple. It's 22-13 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Release, rotation, and a celebration for Niekamp.
Here comes Colonel Crawford with 5:26 to go. And we're going to get a travel call, and the ball goes back to Marion Local. So the biggest lead of the night right now for the Marion Local Flyers at 22-13, and they got a chance to add on to it.
You can see Holt just trying to do a little bit too much, trying to split the defenders, got tied up a little bit. And the last thing that Colonel Crawford can continue to afford to do is to give extra possessions to Marion Local.
Foul line jumper by Grant Kramer, misses that one. Rebound comes down, and it's fought for, but it's brought in by John DeGray. A great job of taking the ball away from 2 Marion Local Flyers. He'll kick it out to Holt. Holt has the ball. He's going to dribble drive, gets it over to DeGray. Nice move up the right, and he misses the shot. John DeGray had an open lane. He misses the shot. Braden Mesher brings it down for the Flyers. He goes right to the basket, and Payne DeGray says, not so fast.
able to track down his own rejection and get it back into the hands of Holt. Colonel Crawford still looking for some consistency here on offense. They're going to turn it back over.
Here's Holman with the ball. He gets the ball from Marion Local, brings it down, goes back Niekamp from the top of the key, and he misses that shot, and John DeGray tracks it down, gets it over to Holt with 4:31 to go.
A little long range for Niekamp on that one.
What a battle right here between these two. And Payne DeGray is getting some incredible situational basketball down here. He makes the shot, he gets fouled, and that's 2 on Austin Niekamp.
Right, you remember when he spun back to the left and did the baby hook with the left hand early in this game? He feinted it that time, made Niekamp go that direction, and came back with a drop step to the baseline. Smart play by Payne DeGray, and more importantly, second foul.
Yeah, you talked about it, and that's exactly what Colonel Crawford did as Payne DeGray is able to knock down the and one. And if you're watching, you're like, well, what was the foul? If you saw Niekamp, he had that forearm. It was pushed. He was moving Payne DeGray once he left the floor. It's an easy call for the officials.
Payne DeGray has 10 of the 16 for Colonel Crawford as he leads the Eagles in scoring right now. Cale Arns under a lot of pressure by the Eagles defense. He'll swing it over to Holman. Holman gets it to Mesher. Boy, they're just going to play off Mesher. He's going to knock down the 3, and he misses that shot. And a nice rebound there by John DeGray. And here come the Eagles to close the gap at 22-16.
Well, you can tell the Colonel Crawford scouting report authored by David Sheldon says, when Mesher has the ball on the perimeter, let him shoot it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Miles, because they're playing off him. Holt with a nice dribble drive, and he knocks it in. My goodness, Braden Holt, you give that young man a step, Nate, and he's going to take it.
Yeah, he's so good. We already talked about his ability just to stop and pull up and make smooth shots. He does it right there, just a 4-point game. It was a 10-point deficit here to begin the quarter.
Here's Niekamp against Payne DeGray. He thought about trying a little half hook, and he spins around. Shot goes up, and a nice job there of Austin Niekamp of keeping that pivot foot sitting down.
Yeah, which pivot foot are you referring to?
I knew you thought about that, Miles. 24-18 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard. Here comes Holt. And fellas, let's be honest, Colonel Crawford's kind of weathered the storm. They were down 9, and they've done a nice job of keeping this thing close.
Yeah, they started on the defensive end by getting rebounds, and they didn't allow second chance opportunities.
Missed three-pointer right there. Grant Kramer's going to bring it down and gets Holman onto the left side. Holman gets it out to Arns, and the Flyers will reset the offense with 2:45 to go until the first half expires.
I'll tell you what, I have been impressed with the defense of Colonel Crawford as far as in transition. They get back quickly. Marion Local loves to run their transition game. They are really good at it. And Colonel Crawford has really limited that here so far in this first half.
Holman with the ball, looking for a cutter down low. He's going to swing it out to Mesher. Boy, you're right, Miles. They're going to let him shoot all night out there. And Mesher says, I'm going to take it inside. And then miss about a 4-foot shot. He misses it, but he gets his own rebound. Mesher says, I'm going to take it back in. Finds Arns on a cut. And he misses the shot, but he's fouled. And he's going to shoot 2 at the line. And Coach Sheldon unhappy with that call.
Just when we were talking about how great Colonel Crawford had been at getting defensive rebounds of late, they give up 1 to Mesher, and Mesher got it when it was 1-on-3, so the determination from Mesher is real impressive.
I think Cale Arns got the worst of that exchange as soon as John DeGray turned, he came running right into him. That is a whole lot of player in John DeGray to run into.
Cale Arns has not scored tonight for the Flyers here in the first half, trying to get his first point of the night. Marion Local leads this one 24-18 with 2:13 to go, and there he gets his first point. They're going to need Cale Arns, the 6'3 sophomore, to get some points here before this game is over.
They got as close as 4, now back up to 7. Just when it looks like Colonel Crawford's going to make a move, Marion Local answers.
Holt brings it down, gets it over to John DeGray. John DeGray guarded by Braden Mesher, trying to get it into Payne DeGray. Almost loses it there. Weithman just about had it thrown off of his shoulder. DeGray gets it back. They'll go Braden Holt, trying to push it inside. Boy, not having much luck there. They finally get on the block. Nice spin move by Payne DeGray. And all he needs is position. Misses that shot. He had great position, fellas. And Mesher brings it down for the Flyers.
Hess kind of bothered him a little bit, just enough so he missed the bunny.
Everman dribble drives, foul line, kicks it back out to Mesher. Trying to find Cale Arns on the low post. He's going to swing it around. Brennan Hess, the freshman, back in the game for the Flyers. The 6'4 freshman who some say may be the best quarterback to come through the program in a long time. And we know how the football program is there at Marion Local.
And we're going to foul away from the basketball as this one We'll take a look here on the Burke Petroleum instant replay. And that
Just
is going to
pushed him out
go
of bounds.
against, it's going to go against Wifey.
Yeah, just pushed him out of bounds. And there you see Cale Arns and Brendan Hess will take a seat.
Well, now, coaches have said for years, right, bump cutters, right? I don't ever remember them saying this tap the cutter and it knocks him out of bounds.
Cut the cutter. That's what we used to call it. Everman with the ball up top. He's going to swing it off to the left side. Braden Mesher alone on the left side. Gets it to Grant Kramer. Boy, I thought Grant Kramer traveled there, kind of stutter step, but he keeps his feet and gets it back out to Mesher.
Officials have done a nice job not overstating their value here today, letting the guys play.
Mesher left side three ball on the way. It's off the mark. The rebound comes down. A great job there of Braden Holt of holding Ryan Homan off and gets the rebound for the Eagles.
Braden Mesher now 2 of 14 on the season from behind the line. That is why Colonel Crawford is letting him take shots.
Kramer with the big-time rebound gets it over to Mesher, and Coach Kurt Guttemuller tells him, slow it down. We're going to hold for one shot.
Goes to his face with two hands. That's a set that they like to run. And you see Dave Sheldon with his towel over there getting everybody ready for it. They know what that set is, and they're going to get ready for it defensively. Danny, do you like the towel idea over on the sideline?
It's the old Shark, Jerry Tarkanian.
Same haircut and everything.
Dave Sheldon is a heck of a coach. He's been there a long time. He was a heck of a player at Bluffton, and his dad was a longtime coach over at Osiris Winford. So
somewhere there's a hotel missing a towel.
We're down to 5 seconds. Grant Kramer, foul line jumper, misses. Braden Mesher with the rebound, tried to put it up, and that's how the first half ends. After one half of play from the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University, the Marion Local Flyers lead the Colonel Crawford Eagles 25-18. We'll be back with halftime observations right after these messages. We're back here at the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, and Miles Holliday. And gentlemen, the Marion Local Flyers lead this one 25-18. And let's talk about Marion Local. They're being led right now by Ryan Homan. A great start in the first quarter. You're watching that battle between Payne DeGray and Austin Niekamp.
Well, I love the offensive philosophy of Marion Local. Shoot threes or get in close points, right? That's what they do. You don't see a lot of mid-range jumpers. Niekamp with a big three, but you're right, Danny. Ryan Homan, he showed up in a big way in that first quarter.
Yeah, and but you got to give Colonel Crawford a lot of credit. They were able to start slowing them down in that second, just 8 points compared to the 17 in that first quarter. And a lot of that came from just starting to be a little bit more physical and starting to get things going on the boards. They started to get a little bit more rebounds, started limiting opportunities for Marion Local. Marion Local's got to get back to winning the rebounding, giving themselves second opportunities, and just moving the ball a little bit more, as you kind of saw them get a little bit stagnant there as that quarter started to come to an end.
On defensively, I don't know if I don't give more time to Brendan Hess. He was impressive when he got out there. Maybe make that switch, put him on the floor with Niekamp, have a little twin tower look.
Let me ask you guys this. Your two lead guards, Braden Mesher and Grant Kramer, have 4 points apiece. You're not getting a lot of offense out of them. If you're Coach Guttemuller, do you tell those guys, hey, we're going to attack the rim, forget about the shots, we can own the rim?
I mean, I think that is something that obviously you can talk about. Kramer's been out there working really hard. You saw him working around the perimeter, trying to get open. Colonel Crawford did a nice job of face guarding him and kind of limiting his ability. Both teams have been playing strictly man-to-man all night long. They're just going player on player, and whoever, let the best man win type situation. So far, Marion Local's had the better version of that. I'm a little surprised that we're not seeing them trying to go to the inside more. They started to try to make a conscious effort of that a few times to get Niekamp going. Niekamp being able to move away from the basket and shoot the three-pointer as well. I think they got to find a way to try to open some things up for him, get him going. Once he starts going, everything else seems to fall apart. The guard play will be open, the lanes will be a little bit more open as well, and things will start being a little bit more consistent.
Now, just because you're playing off of Mesher, that doesn't mean Mesher has to shoot those shots, right?
Right.
Remember, he has driven to the basket several times, just hasn't been able to finish. Just because they're playing off doesn't mean they're going to stop you from getting to the rim. And Braden Mesher's that guy can go through people to get to the rim.
Tonight's halftime is presented by Charles River in Spencerville, proud to support area athletes and students. Visit charlesriver.com for more information. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we're going to take a look at Colonel Crawford and how the first half went for the Eagles. You're watching high school basketball on WOSN. Tonight's halftime is presented by Charles River in Spencerville. Proud to support area athletes and students. Visit charlesriver.com for more information. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holiday. It's halftime here. The Marion Local Flyers lead the Colonel Crawford Eagles 25-18. And guys, we take a look at Colonel Crawford. They are being led by Payne DeGray right now. He's so efficient when he gets the ball down low, guys. And he's such a matchup problem. We talked about that pregame, but I didn't realize how athletic he was down low. And he's really causing the Flyers a lot of problems.
Yeah, in that first quarter, Marion Local did a great job of pulling Payne DeGray out. He wasn't able to really get things going on the inside. That second quarter, back underneath, they saw him getting the rebounds. They started to see him be able to go to work, finish up at the rim. He is a great player. He can defend out beyond the perimeter, but Colonel Crawford needs him to be on the inside. He has to own that paint. If he doesn't and Colonel Crawford doesn't find a way to keep him in there more consistently in the third and fourth quarter, I think Marion Local starts pulling away a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. This Colonel Crawford team has got to do a great job in the second half of rebounding the basketball, especially on the defensive end. If they allow Marion Local second and third opportunities, they're not going to win this basketball game. And if they are going to win the basketball game, they've got to get the big three going. Other than Payne DeGray with his 10 points, it's kind of been a quiet night offensively. Holt with only 4 and John DeGray with only 4 points. And that's the scoring for this group, right? And that's been the whole season. So those three guys are going to have to be really big in the second half.
Yeah, and guys, Austin Niekamp has 9 points, but he's getting the ball when they want. Colonel Crawford's really going to have to come out on the perimeter and really defend that pass wherever it's coming from the top of the key or the corners.
Well, and frankly, if you're Colonel Crawford, when you come back, your strategy needs to be early in that third quarter, go right at Austin Niekamp, try to see if you can't get him to pick up that third foul early to get him off the floor. We know that Hess gave them some good minutes in that first half, but ultimately, if you had to choose between Austin Niekamp and the freshman, you're going to want the freshman in there going up against John DeGray. We talked about the rebounding discrepancies. Offensive rebounds 6-1 in favor of Marion Local. Marion Local winning the rebounding 16-9.
Ooh. Yeah, guys, we take a look. Mark Shine, who's keeping stats for us. 25 points for Marion Local on 21 possessions. Colonel Crawford, 18 points on 22 possessions. So, seeing a different style of basketball tonight, but a great game nonetheless. It's halftime here, 25-18. Marion Local leads Colonel Crawford. We'll be back with second half action right after these messages. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. And our free throw sponsor tonight is Lee's Famous Recipe. We're not famous for catering, we're not famous just for chicken. We're famous for catering too. Nice backdoor cut there by Cale Arns. Misses the shot. Austin Niekamp puts it up and he scores. Right out of the chute, the Marion Local Flyers score on their first possession to make it 27-18 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
You wonder how you lose a guy that's 6'8" and stop him from getting an offensive rebound. But basketball karma, Niekamp delivered first a great pass inside, then gets the garbage and puts it back in.
Here's Payne DeGray, and Austin Niekamp blocks the shot. DeGray kind of went to his left side, and Austin Niekamp goes up and blocks the shot. They get the ball back, and Holt resets the offense, guarded by Cale Arns. He's going to dribble drive on the right side. Shot goes up, and he misses that one, and a big-time rebound by Braden Mesher.
This feels like a big possession here, even though we are just underway here in the third quarter. For Colonel Crawford, easy basket for Mesher. Largest lead of the game for Marion Local with 11.
Great call there, Nate. He got backside on the low post, and it's 29-18 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Colonel Crawford snacking on some danger early in the second half.
Well, guys, you think about the game plan we talked about at halftime is to get it into DeGray, to get that third foul on Niekamp, and every possession, albeit 2 of them, they went inside. They'll swing it back out top. This is Goddard. Goddard gets it out to Holt. Holt loses the ball. Cale Arns on the left side. He's going to take it straight at him, and he scores. Cale Arns, the 6'3" sophomore, knocks it in, and we got a timeout. There's a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout on the booth. You're watching high school basketball on WOSN. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holiday from the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University. And gentlemen, it could not have started the third quarter better for Marion Local.
Yeah, they came out firing. You saw Austin Niekamp get in Cale Arns. You talked about he had to start scoring more. He has 2 points. Saw Niekamp with a block on the inside as well. Right now, everything going Marion Local's way.
Do you think Dave Sheldon told his guys, hey, second half has started?
Yeah, I bet that wasn't a pleasant conversation on that timeout. Here comes DeGray. He's got the ball up top, gets it over to Holt. Holt guarded by Cale Arns. They'll swing it to the right side to John DeGray. He's going to dribble drive to the foul line. Kicks it back out to Holt. 6:03 to go on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard. Holt thought about taking the shot. He's going to screen it over to Goddard. Goddard gets it down low to DeGray. DeGray guarded by Austin Niekamp. Braden Mesher tries to come in and poke the ball away. They'll kick it back out. They'll go back into DeGray. Little elbow action there by DeGray, and he scores just enough space. Get the shot off. He makes it 31-20 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Great move on the up and under coming back through by DeGray, but it was a lot of work just to get that look.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Payne DeGray put in a ton of work. Three-pointer by Niekamp is going to be off the front of the rim, and then we're going to have a foul on the rebound.
Yeah, going to get Braden Mesher on the call over top of, I believe, Holt maybe? Or Holt, oh, he's holding his arm.
Yeah, he's got his arm right there.
Now look, in roller derby, that's legal. You're allowed to do that, but in basketball, they won't let you get that. You got to call that foul. Easy call by the official.
Well, the next time WSN calls us for a roller derby competition, we've got the collar guy, right? 31-20 with 5:15 to go. Nobody laughed. That's a tough crowd.
Correctly.
Thanks, Nate. Payne DeGray's blocked again by Niekamp. Gets it over to Holt. Little fall away jumper. Misses that one. Grant Kramer brings it down. And here come the Flyers.
Colonel Crawford doing what we talked about, going inside, trying to go right at Niekamp. They just haven't been able to really cash it in other than the one time.
He's been great in the second half with 2 blocks.
Guys, did you see on that last set where Austin Niekamp was set up? He was clear out by the OHSAA logo, and he brought Payne DeGray with him, and they started to move the ball down the baseline.
And they end up turning it over as the official says he stepped out of bounds. Marion Local wanted to foul as Mesher almost comes up with a steal
sure
there.
Does. There's Payne DeGray, gets his left shoulder to Austin Niekamp, misses that shot, goes out of bounds, and they go back to the Eagles.
Well, I think that Marion Local has kind of switched their philosophy on Payne DeGray. Just stay between him and the basket. Don't worry about that. They'll let your 6'8" long arms make that tough for him to deal with. Niekamp has done a great job of that as one of the ladies at the table. She got a little bit of a scare there, didn't she?
She did. Game 1 here tonight, fellas, between Marion Local and Colonel Crawford. We got a dandy in Game 2, Division 7, the Russia Raiders, the Arlington Red Devils. And you want to talk about post players, the Arlington Red Devils bring in Calvin Willow, the 6'10 center, had 22 in their regional championship win.
I remember halfway through the season, he was only averaging 6 points a game.
Yeah.
He's exploded. How dynamic was he against Delphos St. John's a week ago?
Yeah, nice job of Holt of getting down low, and a great job of the little spin move, clearing some space. He scores. It's 31-22 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
They're going to need a lot more of that moving forward if they're going to get back in this basketball game.
Austin Niekamp's going to take Payne DeGray, a little half hook, misses the shot. Braden Mesher tried to bring it down, and Holt corrals it for the Eagles. He's going to bring it down, goes to the left side. This is Lucas Foy. Foy kicks it back out. Holt's going to reset the offense with 3:55 to go. Little dribble drive, middle of the floor, trying anything to get an offensive set there. Nothing going. Ball's blocked. Here comes Mesher, brings it right down. Finds Holman cutting on the left side, and he scores. Ryan Holman knocks it in. He's got 11, and they've got their biggest lead of the night at 33-22.
Yeah, Holman just does what he should as an offensive player. Nobody on you. Go to the low block. Let your buddies find you.
3:28 to go here from the Stroh Center at Bowling Green State University. Eagles desperately trying to get an offensive point here at 3:19 mark of the third quarter. Payne DeGray, and they're going to get DeGray. He lowers his shoulder, fellas. You saw the shoulders lower right here on the instant replay.
Yeah, Payne DeGray, he was working on the inside. Austin Niekamp's been playing really good defense. Has been able really to poke it away every time they try to bring it to him, so he has to go beyond the perimeter to get it. And you can tell Payne DeGray looks exhausted. He has worked so hard against Austin Niekamp. I think that was just a little bit of a frustration foul.
Well, you see him down on the floor, fellas. He's holding his jersey, and he's bent over at the waist, and you can tell that's a great observation, Nate, that he is really tired.
That's the universal sign of I'm tired, isn't it? Hands on the knees.
Everybody's seen that before. So here come the Flyers. Daniel Everman in the game now. You see him cutting through the lane. Mesher with the ball on the right side. They'll go top side to Everman. back, trying to get it to Niekamp. Arns had the ball swatted away, and a great job there of Holt of picking his pocket and bringing it down the floor. Boy, that's a heck of a matchup, guys. Cale Arns and Holt out top.
Arns has really stymied Holt today with his length and his quickness. Quick enough to stay in front. When he can't, he uses his length to catch up.
That foul was on Braden Mesher. That's his second of the night.
And Mesher just reached in, trying to poke that one away from DeGray. Ended up getting the arm instead.
Mesher's one of those guys that he gets 5 fouls, but he really gets 7 because he's physical.
Yeah.
and once in a while, they're not going to call it because they're just used to him being physical.
Nice job of Payne DeGray. Guys, every time I think he's going to get a shot block, he somehow gets it off.
It was a great job working on the other side of the basket this time, able to spin to the inside. Not a lot of space there, but got it up with the left hand.
Mesher gets through the defense, and he travels, and he does travel. So at the 2:10 mark, the Eagles have it down to 9 with a chance to get closer at 33-24.
Back-to-back negative possessions on the offensive end for Marion Local, and they're going to talk about it.
Yeah, there's going to be a timeout on the floor. With 2:10 to go, the Marion Local Flyers lead this one 33-24. We'll be back right after these messages. Our premier sponsor tonight is OPAC in Osgood. For all your industrial painting, staining, and assembly needs, call OPAC. And our instant replay sponsor tonight is Berg Petroleum, now offering propane for residential, farm, commercial, and industrial users. Berg Petroleum, dependable, available, 800-776-3097. So, guys, Marion Local, their last 6 possessions, 5 of them have been no scoring, 5 empty possessions. So credit Colonel Crawford with amping the defensive pressure up, but they still have a 33-24 lead.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Even with all those empty possessions, Colonel Crawford not really able to take advantages. They're still down 9.
Down to the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Marion Local continues to lead 33-24. Payne DeGray with the ball out top. You wonder if they're going to have him put the ball on the deck and really go at the rim instead of posting up low, and that's exactly what he does, and he misses the shot, and Ryan Holman brings it down for the Flyers.
Now, when Niekamp's been able to stay between him and the rim, life has been difficult for Payne DeGray.
Well, John DeGray picked up Mesher, and they wanted a travel call on Mesher, and they didn't get it. Austin Niekamp down low. He's guarded by Payne DeGray. Here goes Niekamp, little spin move, spinning and winning, and he misses that one. And Payne DeGray comes up with the rebound.
Yeah, it looked like there for a second Niekamp was going to be able to get that rebound, but it slipped right through his hands. And Colonel Crawford finally able to take advantage of an empty possession by the Flyers as they have this one down to 7.
Great call there, 33-26 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Braden Holt has not been able to get to the lane a great deal tonight, but when he has, he's been able to drop dimes and delivers that one again.
Mesher standing out at the BG logo with 55 seconds to go. Holman at the OHSAA logo, so they've spread the floor quite a bit here, and they're going to hold for one last shot. They lead this one 33-26.
I don't mind this if I'm Marion Local, if I can maintain possession, right? The problem is that teams do this and they turn it over at about 15 and allows the other team to get a shot on the opposite end.
Mesher still holding the ball. We're down to 30 seconds. The Marion Local student section on their feet as they lead this one 33-26.
And this is where everybody that watches basketball with a shot clock starts saying,
yeah, right.
Can we please have a shot clock?
We're down to 13 seconds.
A little surprised that Colonel Crawford didn't come out and pressure earlier.
I think that's exactly what I was thinking, Miles. Down 33-26. We're at the 5-second mark. Here's Arns. Tries to get Grant Kramer, and they throw it away. So they hold the ball for 60 seconds and nothing.
Miles called it.
He did.
Right, that's exactly what he says. You can't afford to have happen.
There's a long shot that goes awry. After 3 quarters of play from the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University, the Marion Local Flyers lead the Colonel Crawford Eagles 33-26. We'll have fourth quarter action right after these messages. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holliday. It's the Division 6 state semifinal game here as we enter the fourth quarter. Marion Local leads this one 33-26. And gentlemen, we've watched Colonel Crawford really just clawing to get out of this hole, and still it's a 33-26 lead.
And he wasted a lot of energy on Payne DeGray. Nate called it right in that third quarter. He's a tired young man, so Holt's going to have to really step forward. John DeGray, And guys, who else on this Colonel Crawford team that can deliver some points? It's really only 3 guys that carry the load offensively.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen them trying to run some things to get Logan Goddard open from behind the three-point line. They are 0 for 4 from behind the arc. Obviously, those three-point shots can play in big, especially when you're looking for momentum swings. And I don't even remember him actually touching the ball in a significant time. A little surprised that maybe they'll try to get him going here in the fourth quarter, try to get a couple of big shots out of him.
Well, Braden Holt has a 6 on the night. He averages 18, so obviously he is below his average. They get the ball down to John DeGray. He spins in the middle, guarded by 3 players, and he scores. Nice job there, John DeGray.
He was a whirling dervish, wasn't he? A little spin-a-rooney several times before he got that one.
5-point lead now. Colonel Crawford clawed themselves back in this one, Danny.
7:30 to go here in the fourth quarter, 33-28. They'll go down low to Austin Niekamp. The ball's deflected, and Payne DeGray comes up with it. And exactly the way the Eagles needed the fourth quarter to start, they got a chance to cut into this lead.
I think they need to go early in this set. Don't wait too long.
Holt gets it to the foul line, spinning around, misses the shot.
Yeah, bad decision that time by Holt as he went in, just kind of tried to force it. I know he can feel that momentum. He wanted to have a big shot. Looks like that one might have been partially deflected by Arns as well. But, there wasn't a lot there. The defense was good. You're trying to keep things going in the right direction, and you force up a bad shot.
He had an opportunity to seize momentum, only down 5. And Holt, you saw the disappointment in his face. He settled for a left-handed off of a spin. Not the best shot in his career.
Holman will bring it down for the Flyers, gets it over to Mesher. We're down to the 7-minute mark. Marion Local leads this one, 33-28. Grant Kramer, nice drive on the left side. A little turnaround jumper, and he nails it. Grant Kramer knocks it in to make it 35-28. And there you see, the last possession from Colonel Crawford really hurts when Marion Local scores there.
Yeah, he went against Logan Goddard, who launches a 3-ball, so they heard you, Nate. Try to get him going behind the arc.
Holman on the right side, and he's going to get a charge called against Ryan Holman. And let's take a look at this on the Burke Petroleum instant replay. Not bad. It's a tough call to make, but you could go both ways.
And I'll tell you what, we've had conversations, fellas, the 3 of us, about the arc, right? On the floor.
Right.
They have that here. He was outside of that arc. Now, whether you want to have the debate about whether or not he had his feet set in time and all that's a whole other conversation, but he definitely wasn't in that protected area.
One thing we do know, though, it's a huge break for Colonel Crawford. They got to take advantage of it now.
They get it over to Weithman. Weithman gets it on the right side. This is DeGray, spins around left-handed, and he scores. John DeGray has had the last 4 points for the Eagles. It's 35-30. And, fellas, they took their time on that possession. The last 3, the first 2 were quick shots. They took their time there.
Marion Local really out of sync offensively. Haven't been able to come up with a lot. Trying to change that, and they...
A near disaster for the Flyers.
Looked like they were about to turn that over. Luckily, just touched a Colonel Crawford player before it went out of bounds.
Well, if you ever play John or Payne DeGray in the driveway in one-on-one, be ready for the spin move, right? Both those guys love that interior post move.
So the out-of-bounds play, they throw it into Niekamp at the foul line. He finds a cutting Grant Kramer, and Grant is fouled. He's going to go to the Lee's Famous Recipe free throw line for 2 shots.
Not the worst foul, because if not, that's an easy layup for Kramer. So now he's got to cash in from the line.
5:49 to go. First one on the way, and it's good. Grant Kramer, he's got 5 for Marion Local tonight. His season average is 11.5. Makes it 36-30 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard.
Marion Local has been very dangerous from the free throw line tonight. 88%, only 61% on average for the year, so a good night at the line for Marion Local.
Here comes Braden Holt with the ball. They're down 37-30, gets it up to Payne DeGray. Niekamp kind of sits back off of him a little bit. Holt with the ball on the left side. He's going to take it in left-handed. Misses the shot. Payne DeGray comes up with it, puts it up, and he misses that one. Gets another rebound, and they're going to get Austin Niekamp on the foul. My goodness, fellas. Payne DeGray doing yeoman's work in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, he just would not be denied, would he? Look at this guy, just working so hard, goes back up. I thought maybe they were going to get Orange coming over on the help, but it is Niekamp that gets it, isn't it?
Well, prior to that exchange, there was 1 offensive rebound for Colonel Crawford. Payne DeGray that time got 2 all by himself.
Gentlemen, do you understand that Payne DeGray is only a junior, right? He looks like a fifth-year senior. You can tell that young man has the keys to the weight room. He is a specimen on the floor.
He'll be that guy that will torture everybody in his rec league when he's in his 30s also.
Right. Here's Braden Mesher being guarded by John DeGray, and Mesher takes it right to him, and he scores, and he makes it 39-31 at the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Well, what happens when the front door is open? You run right through it, and it's exactly what Mesher did.
Here comes Colonel Crawford. Holt tries to get to the middle. The Marion local fans wanted a travel call. Homan's guarding Holt. Holt goes back to the middle, kicks it back out. Goddard loses the ball on the floor. Mesher comes up with it, and he calls a timeout. And a heads-up play by Braden Mesher because he had Colonel Crawford Eagles all around him. He gets the timeout. We'll step aside. 4:44 to go. Tonight's instant replay are brought to you by Burke Petroleum, now offering propane for residential, farm, commercial, and industrial users. Burke Petroleum, dependable, available, 1-800-776-3097. So, gentlemen, it's 4:44 to go here until this one expires. Marion local leads 39-31. Colonel Crawford in danger right now, or are they still, with 4:44 to go, you got to believe they are?
I think they've been in danger since the start of the second half when Marion local came out absolutely on fire.
They got this one within 5 at one point not that long ago. Things are starting to go back towards the Flyers. They've got to come up with a big stop here defensively.
So Marion local has the ball coming out of the timeout. A great job by Braden Mesher of stopping play there and getting the timeout. And they lead this one 39-31. So full court pressure by the Eagles all the way down. Holman breaks the pressure, gets it to Niekamp, and a great job of not giving up the ball when he thought he had a shot. He's going to go, and he's got a size advantage against John DeGray. This is Mesher, kicks it back out. Niekamp for 3, and he knocks it in. A big 3, and dare I say, maybe the biggest shot of the night. It's 42-31.
Yeah, Niekamp on his way down, looked at the Marion local side and said, come on, everybody, let's go to Dayton.
Yeah, the blue and gold are on their feet. There's a 3 ball from the left side, and Austin Niekamp brings it in, and the Flyers, with 4 minutes to go, lead this one 42-31.
Yeah, basketball karma shows again. You get the big 3 by Niekamp. What's he do on the other end? Gets the rebound.
Cale Arms cutting to the basket, and he scores. It's 44-31 with 3:49 to go, and the Marion local Flyers can smell a state championship game in their future.
You can see the confidence growing with every possession.
Payne DeGray gets the rebound, puts it back up, and it is 44-31, Marion local ball with 3:31 to go.
You wonder, Marion local going to start working some clock here on the offensive end, up by 13.
They'll go Kramer to the left side. He'll dribble drive to the middle. Nobody there, and he finds a cutting Arms. And Arms misses a left-handed layup, had a nice reverse layup. It went in, or it didn't go in, and it's still 44-31.
Well, he missed absolutely everything. Barely touched the backboard on it.
Big time 3, a big time Holman Insurance 3. And you saw Braden Holt, his range there. It's 10, fellas, with 3:06 to go. We're going to take a timeout. Tonight's Marion local premier sponsor is OPAC in Osgood. For all your industrial painting, staining, and assembly needs, call OPAC. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holiday. It's the Division 6 state semifinals, gentlemen. We've been treated to a dandy of a game. 44-34. The Eagles hit a big 3 there. They've got to get a stop and another score here.
Well, it was the first one of the night from behind the arc, and it was authored by Braden Holt. They're going to need some more long-range dial-ups from Holt.
Yeah, Holt's going to have to find a way to get his offense going here with just 3 minutes left to go. That made basket was his first points of the second half.
1-2-2. Tough to employ against Marion local because they can throw over the top.
And you saw Mesher gets through the defense and gets the shot off. And I think they're going to say the foul was on the floor, and Mesher's going to take it out underneath the basket.
Which that's a tough call for Colonel Crawford, because Braden Mesher, only a 46% free throw shooter. That's who you want taking free throws late in the game if you're Colonel Crawford.
Yeah, Mesher got up, and he was fiddling with his teeth. Wonder if he got some chiclets knocked loose.
So there you see a lot of pressure there by the Eagles, and there's going to be a foul, and that foul is going to be called against Weithman for the Eagles.
Obviously, Colonel Crawford knows that they're going to have to stop the clock here a lot late. And they got to get those fouls racked up before they can do it.
Grant Kramer goes around Cale Arns, and a near steal, but they got another foul there. And it looks like they're going to get Logan Goddard on the foul. And you're right, Nate. They're going to rack those fouls up and try to get that ball back.
Well, and as we talked about how big it would have been if they could have got Braden Mesher to the free throw line, this is the guy you don't want taking them. He is an 80% free throw shooter.
Grant Kramer lets the first one go, and he knocks it in. Kramer's got 7 on the night.
Yeah, Marion local, 8 of 9 from the free throw line tonight.
Second on the way, and he misses that one, so he'll stay at 7. 45-34.
Nice job keeping the announcer jinx going.
Holtz double teamed out top. They'll swing it around to John DeGray. John DeGray at the high post. He's guarded by Homan. Gets it around to Weithman. Weithman goes back into DeGray. Tries to take it up, and a great job there by Marion Local, and they're going to get Braden Mesher on the foul.
This is going to upset the staff over at Marion Local, because what you don't want to do when you got the lead and the clock is your friend is foul people. And Mesher, he just can't help himself. He is a contact magnet.
Holt with a leaning 3, misses that one. Ball goes out of bounds and is saved. And Payne DeGray comes up with it. Holt does a nice job of getting the ball back in play. A little half hook there, and he scores. So Holt with a half hook there makes it 45-36 with 2:08 to go. We'll keep it right here. Gentlemen, Colonel Crawford doing everything they can, but defensively on the other end, they just can't stop Marion Local from getting to the line.
And if you're Marion Local, you quite simply just look at the guys in the huddle and you say, look, fellas, we take care of the basketball and we make our free throws.
Yeah.
We're going to spend our weekend in Dayton next week.
And there's worse places to be, I'm telling you. Division 6 state semifinal here, guys. And hey, what has it been like to have a state semifinal not in the arena where the championship was played? You know, we've talked a lot about it off the air as Nate growls at me. But look at the crowd. The kids are excited. I'm happy for both schools, but it is different.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, ultimately, the venue wasn't going to change the turnout, right?
Right.
These communities were coming out to support their
and
team.
They did.
No matter what. They filled this up. It's a great electric atmosphere. We ain't got enough time to get into all the things that are wrong here with the tournament draw, in my opinion.
I'll say this. The people at Bowling Green, they've made it a big-time feeling.
They've done so good this last couple of weekends. I love coming up here. There's a near steal there. You saw John DeGray poke his hand at the ball.
Well, the thing I always love about this is you got a guy that's 6'8", and you forget about throwing it to him.
Yeah.
Just throw it up high, let Niekamp go get it.
Nice cut there by Kramer to get to the middle of the floor. And the ball's going to be stolen. And a nice job of Goddard getting behind him. Here comes Holt with the ball. 1:58 to go. Holt to the right side. And they got to score quick here. They're down 45-36.
With this possession, though, opportunity to make this a 2-possession game.
Holt gets in the middle and he scores. Braden Holt with a little floater there. It's 45-38 with 1:40 to go here in the fourth quarter.
They got their foot in the door at least. It's not slammed shut.
And Coach Guttemüller is going to take a timeout. With 1:38 to go, we'll take a timeout. You're watching high school basketball on WOSN. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Metzger Financial Services, helping you plan your financial future. Call 419-225-6067 or visit MetzgerFinancialServices.com. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holliday from the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University. And our incredible WOSN team has done a great job tonight of bringing you high school basketball, not only high school basketball, the state semifinals. A first for WSN. So proud to be part of this broadcast, guys. It's been a great game.
And they're playing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus as we came back live here. And it's a great song to play because pretty soon it's going to be Party in Marion Local.
Party in the Maria Stein, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So Austin Niekamp makes the long walk down the floor.
I know, fellas, you're going to be shocked by this one, but Austin Niekamp, also a good free throw shooter, 79% on the season.
Yeah. Guys, did we talk about it before the game, how many teams in the same year in the state of Ohio had their football team and their basketball team play for a state title?
Yes. Sometimes Sometimes you wonder if he's listening when we talk,
Oh,
and then sometimes he goes and proves
What'd
that
you
he's
say?
not listening when we talk.
Niekamp knocks it in. Second on the way, and it's good.
I thought that was a great opener, by the way, Nate.
It was, right?
You dropped some knowledge on us. Danny gets to hear it twice.
47-38 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard. Here comes Holt on the left side, gets it down to Payne to Gray. Shots blocked by Niekamp. Ball's on the floor, and Austin Niekamp comes up with it, and they are trying to foul him, and they do. And Austin Niekamp, again, takes the long walk to the foul line.
Absolutely loved it. He didn't want to make that outlet pass. Why? Because he wanted to shoot the free throws down at this end. He just kept spinning around saying, somebody foul me because I want to go shoot some free throws.
There's a lot of advantages to being as tall as Austin Niekamp is. When you're 6'8", 6'9", right? One of them is how good you are at basketball. The other one is when you go to put that ball to your chin and those elbows are out, no one can say that you're going at their heads because your elbows are already above them.
Gentlemen, Austin Niekamp, watching here, gets point number 17. I'm here to tell you, we've watched this young man improve year after year after year. And his senior year, he's not disappointed any game I've seen him play. He is the real deal at 6'8". He's going to be a great college basketball player. Knocks in both of them.
Well, he's been great here tonight. And Marion Local is getting more and more excited by the second about the prospects that go into Dayton.
Holt misses that one, and Ryan Homan comes up with it, gets it back to Mesher, and we're at the 1:10 mark as they break the timeline. Colonel Crawford desperately needing to stop the clock, and they do there with 1:06 to go, down 49-38.
Yeah, time just running out here on Colonel Crawford. You can see the Marion Local faithful, the Marion Local bench, the coaches, everybody. They're starting to feel this one a little bit. They know that they're only a minute 6 away for playing for a state title.
So 24 wins in a row will come to an end for the Colonel Crawford Eagles. And what a season they've had. And, gentlemen, they bring back a ton next year. They're going to be right back here in my estimation.
24 wins in a row. Can you even fathom that? That's absolutely amazing. It's got to be a school record.
Mesher knocks in both of them there. Makes it 51-38 with 1:06 to go on the scoreboard. Here's Holt. He'll dribble drive, foul line. Kicks it to the left side. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll go back to Colonel Crawford with 58 seconds to go.
Marion Local knows that the three ball has got to be part of what Colonel Crawford is going to do on the offensive end, so they're extending their defense beyond the arc, making it difficult.
Weithman will trigger the ball in, gets it over to Goddard, and some contact at the top of the circle there.
You got to love Marion Local, man. They just can't help themselves. They're going to be physical all the time. Even when you don't want to foul, guy sets a screen on me, Coach. I got to run through it.
It's like they're at the goal line. Marion Local goes into football mode. And the fans are starting to head out the direction of the exit doors here with 50 seconds to go. Holt right side misses that one, and Ryan Homan comes down with the rebound. And Coach Sheldon is telling his kids to foul, and there's the foul. John DeGray and the Marion Local crowd on their feet with 37 seconds to go, and they'll be traveling right down 75 next week for a state championship game in Division 6.
A place like Marion Local is very, very special for a lot of reasons, but just the excellence that comes out of there is just a testament, not just to the players, but to the coach and the community as a whole. And you see it in everything that they do. And now here they are, 37 seconds away from moving on to UD, where they will play for another state title. It's just remarkable.
It is. 37 seconds to go, 52-38 on the Ultimate Outdoor scoreboard. There's Holt, goes to the right side, kicks it back out. We're down under 30 seconds. Three ball from the left side. It's off the mark, and Holman comes up with it. And Coach Sheldon tells him to spread the floor, and nobody's fouling. And the Marion Local Flyers, gentlemen, are going to play for a state championship in Division 7 as they have defeated the Colonel Crawford Eagles 52-38 here in the Stroh Center. And you watch the Marion Local coaches and the smile on their faces and the handshakes says it all. The Marion Local Flyers, they're moving on to the state finals.
Congratulations, Marion Local. Well deserved. They played incredible basketball, especially on the defensive end here tonight. And Colonel Crawford, nothing to be ashamed of. Unbelievable season. and you just ran into a Marion local team that would not be denied.
Unbelievable effort, 52-38. When we come back, we'll have our post-game show right here on WOSN. Tonight's post-game show is brought to you by Wapakoneta Ford. View our new and pre-owned inventory at wapakonetaford.net or visit us at 613 North Dixie Highway in Wapakoneta. Danny Holbrook, Nate Garlock, Miles Holiday, the Marion Local Flyers defeat the Colonel Crawford Eagles 52-38. Marion Local, gentlemen, was led by Austin Niekamp with 18, Braden Mesher and Ryan Homan with 11 apiece. And I said at halftime that I thought Cale Orange had to get involved in this game. He really did. He ends up with 5, but defensively and everything else, he was really a big factor in this game.
Well, I really felt, Miles, that the first maybe 3 or 4 minutes of that third quarter is what decided this game. Marion Local came out of the locker room. Their game plan was on point. They started hitting shots. They got things going, and they really put Colonel Crawford on their heels, and Colonel Crawford just never really recovered.
Yeah, Colonel Crawford, DeGray with 10 points, Payne DeGray with 15, and Holt with 13. That's it. They didn't get much other than that. We thought the big three would have to be big, but they were going to have to be even bigger than big for them to win this one. A great job by Marion Local. They know what it's like to play in big-time environments. The team has shot 61% from the free throw line on the year. Not tonight. It's a big moment. What'd they shoot? 84% from the free throw line.
Colonel Crawford ends their season at 25-2, and guys, they're going to bring a whole lot of people back. This experience for them is going to be huge. Payne DeGray is going to be one of the best players in the state of Ohio next year. He is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this is a team that opened up their season with a loss against Columbiana Crestview.
Yeah.
They got that win back in this tournament run. Since that opening game, they then went and won 25 straight games where they were able to come away with victories. They just ran into a buzzsaw here tonight. No shame in going down to the Marion Local Flyers, a team that right now just kind of feels like they're on a path of destiny.
Danny, I had just had one of your fans from Marion Local stop by and said, thank you for doing the games for us. She watches every single one.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure doing this game with you guys tonight. A fantastic job by you two.
Yeah, before we get out of here, just a reminder, there's only 5 times in history that a school has won a state football title and a state basketball title in the same season. Marion Local is looking to do that feat next weekend. Last time it happened, 2017, 2018, and the team that did it, the Marion Local Flyers.
I can't wait to next week when you have to explain it to Danny again.
At state finals, we'll be there together. What a big night, guys. Thanks a lot for everything you do. For our entire WSN crew, for Miles Holiday, Nate Garlick, I'm Danny Holbrook saying we'll see you next time. You've been watching high school basketball on WOSN.